All right, Munition, welcome to 69 Faces of Rock. Introduce yourself and tell me what you do in the band.
I'm Jory, and I'm the bass player.
I'm Sil, vocals.
Casey, guitar player, noise maker, sexy guy.
Sexy guy.
I'm George. I try to play guitar.
Dash, I play drums.
Excellent. When did you guys first form?
2019, at the very end, we
Okay.
formed.
Were you in any other bands before?
Yeah, me, this guy right here, and the drummer were in a band called Shocker for a very long time. And then when that dissolved, we put
George came in.
George came in at the
Right
very
at
end
the
of
very
that, right before that dissolved, like I said. And then we added this guy, and we decided to just start a whole new project since it was basically a whole new band at that point.
I was the singer in Scorpio for a couple of years, and then I played guitar in some in Ancient Seance. Did a couple of releases. And then I joined up with these guys just before the pandemic, or right around.
About December of 2019.
Yeah.
All right, so when you became Munition, what was the kind of a plan of attack? Like, it's a new band?
Yeah, new band. Just wanted to just make heavy metal and yeah, do what we do best.
Yeah. It's kind of just
Try to
writing
kinda
songs
do
that
that.
we write and just go along with whatever comes out. It really wasn't, as far as music goes, it was just, you know, a big emphasis on hooks and, you know, hard rock and heavy metal.
What kind of a background do you guys have in that music? Did you?
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
I mean, we've been
How
fans
much
for a
time do
very
you
long
have?
time.
I got a lot of time.
I mean, I think we're all more or less classic heavy metal guys, which was really one of the reasons why we never even talked about what the band was. We were all just kind of on the same page from the get-go of what we were trying to do.
Yeah.
What kind of bands did you listen to before even becoming musicians?
Oh, Jesus, God, I could go back a long way on this if you how much time you got. Oh, man, I started off like everybody else, Black Sabbath, UFO, you know, Michael Schenker,
Very
guys like
classic.
that. Absolutely. Iron Maiden, of course, Judas Priest, you know, more obscure stuff like, oh, man, yeah, you name it. Everything from, yeah, Uriah Heep to Jethro Tull, you know, I grew up with all that stuff. And a lot of classical music too. I love listening to, and that kind of gives me, you know, inspiration to kind of like to write, you know, kind of in that kind of realm.
All right, let's hear some more influences.
I listen to pretty much anything once, you know, everything from like even like country and folk music to like heavy metal.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
I guess I'm like the 80s glam metal guy, I guess. Warrant, Dawkins, Skid Row.
Him.
I mean, anything like 80s metal in general, basically. So.
Wow, so it's a combination of a lot of styles. How do you guys mix it together?
Somebody comes up with a riff and somebody
just
else
build on it.
builds on it, and it's just kind of, you know, take elements from here, elements from there, you know, and it just kind of comes out in the way it comes out. I mean, we all listen to everything, from, like you said, classical music to country to video game soundtracks to you know, musicals, and it just all kind of just gets funneled into whatever comes out of our
Yeah, I mean,
fingertips.
Like, I listen to a lot of like black metal and other like just weirder shit that you wouldn't necessarily expect would fit with this, you know, but it seems to work just fine. Kind of get, you know,
Yeah, and there's
little-
never
little
really-
darker themes on my end, but
Yeah.
How does
It
that
works.
work out with your singing style?
well, I don't like do like black metal vocals. It's just like the kind of content of what I'm talking about lyrically, more
Yeah.
or less, you know.
More intro perspective than your typical heavy metal party all night,
Less
rockin', you know. A lot less AC/DC, a little bit more, I wouldn't even
King
know.
Diamond.
Yeah, in that way.
Oh, yeah,
Death
yeah,
Bones,
yeah.
Mayhem.
Yeah. I mean,
King
that's the
Diamond was
thing
always
is-
one of my main go-tos for, you know, that was my shit growing up when I was a teenager. So.
Why the name Munition?
We're having a hard time coming up with a name, and we just kind of came upon that. It's a very strong name. It really doesn't mean anything. It's just powerful.
I think somebody had said once, one of the songs we were writing, they said this has, I think they said something like, this has the ammunition of some, you know,
For something to do
kind
something,
of,
and it's
for
just kind
something to
of-
be something. Yeah, it's like you guys have the ammunition, and we thought about it. It's like, ammunition. Let's call the band Munition, and I think it actually came about exactly like that, just kind of spontaneously one day.
Yeah.
Somebody said the word ammunition, and say, yeah, munition. That's kind of cool, and we just kind of rolled with it.
3 syllables, short, sounds strong. I mean, you know, what's in a name? If the music's good, the music's good. It really doesn't, you know. least that's the way I look at it.
How many shows have you done so far?
As this band, 2.
2 shows.
2 shows.
This will be number 3
Yes.
tonight.
Okay.
Lucky number 3.
And what was the response like?
Warm.
It's been pretty,
very warm.
pretty good,
Pretty
actually.
good.
Yeah.
I
We
can't
got
complain.
a nice live review, and then the same guy who did the live review, Mr. Tun Bowman, did an album review, our first album review, and it was very well received. So we're very happy and proud with that.
Yeah,
Tim,
you
if
know-
you see this, thank you very much.
Yeah, really good stuff. You know, he said he hadn't had like a lot of experience reviewing albums, and I think he did a fantastic
Mhm.
job. He was very detailed about, you know, what he was hearing and what he liked, and it was really cool.
Okay. At what point did you kind of realize that you have developed a style, that you actually became Munition, not another band with a moniker?
Well, that's funny enough because, like I said, we draw from so many different influences that we just kind of wanted to take what kind of inspired us and kind of make kind of a, I don't know if I want to say like a kind of like a new sound, but we kind of have a different sound than a lot of other people
I
in
think
our
it's
genre.
I think it's just kind of we kind of just let whatever happens and don't really try to push any sort of sound. I mean,
we try not
what-
to force
yeah,
one
whatever
specific
comes out
thing.
comes out, and it just so happens that a lot of what we write comes out in that style, but it's not something that we kind of really make it a point to do something in a certain way. When at the very end of the last band, Casey, George, Dan, and I were in, we kind of started to come into our own in that respect. A lot of the songs on this record kind of were birthed at that point.
Yeah, you know,
And, yeah, go
they
ahead.
came in with we were still kind of doing some of the shocker songs that these guys were doing before in the beginning, just kind of to have something to play. But like the new songs that they were writing were very much different. They were heavier. They were a little more well fleshed out.
Yeah,
And
a little fresher sounding.
like I felt like I took to them really quickly, whereas like doing the older shocker songs, it was kind of like I'm singing in someone else's voice. I felt uncomfortable. And then it was kind of like, okay, well, these newer songs are a whole different breed, so we'll just kind of, drop this
Start
old stuff
anew,
and
yeah.
really get this going.
We had gotten lucky, I guess it's still not really to say lucky, but during the
Fortunate.
pandemic, the whole world was shut down, everybody was locked away. That actually gave us a little over a year to really perfect these songs, and we recorded them. We recorded the songs ourselves. Sill's actually the guy who engineered this record.
Yeah, and it
So
was
we
cool
kind
to
of made
have
this
the
record
time.
ourselves, and so we had that year of when Sill came into the band as a new guy, and because we had all this time, we kind of were able to really craft exactly what we wanted to do, and that's what you're going to hear on this record.
Originally, we went into recording a demo. We were just going to throw some mics up and just kind of get a feel for the songs. And then as we went on, it kind of just developed into just, well, if we're going to do this, we might as well just do the whole thing.
There's no shows to play. Everything was shut down. It's like, well, just keep the shit rolling and see what the fuck happens.
Stay active, and let's
Yeah.
just make a record.
It was definitely
We
an
did.
interesting experience joining a band and spending 2 years, writing songs and then recording songs and never playing a show. It was just an odd,
very.
an odd experience. But I mean, we got an album out of it that I think we're all really proud of. So that's worked out.
I did see your first show, and I was extremely, actually not just myself, but many people were extremely impressed by your Judas Priest cover. Can you talk about how this came to be?
We love that
that's
band.
always one of my favorite songs. And when these guys were like, "Yeah, we'd be down," I was like, "Dude, fuck yeah."
Yeah, we had mulled the idea around for a little while, for a couple of years before even joining, about wanting to do that song, because it's just such a display of.
My pops told me that when you guys were talking about doing that before, and I was like, man, I wish I could just like push her out of the room.
Yeah.
And for those who are not sure which song we're talking about, it is.
Dreamer Deceiver. By
There you
Judas
go.
For
Priest.
Sad Wings of Destiny.
There you go.
Classic metal album. And the Priest are one of our favorite, biggest influences. Come on, Rob Halford. I mean, do I need to say any more? And yeah, we just decided let's do Dreamer Deceiver, and we lucky enough that we knew a guy that could sing like that, and here he is.
It's a long song, but luckily we do it good enough that it's like it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
What does it take to sing a song like that?
Nerve.
Trying not to pass out and pretend that the note's already there. I just have to believe it's there. Like the less I think about it, the more it's like, okay, I'll be fine.
The less you think about music in general, the easier it is to
If I
play
think
it.
about it, I'm like, is this note here? Where do I need to be? It's like that. I'm not gonna edit. It's like, all right.
All right, we have been mentioning the album, so show the record, introduce it. Tell me all about it.
Album is called Visions. Want to give a shout out to Lauren Gornick for the amazing artwork in the front. Yeah, she did the artwork for this. A girl, Lauren Gornick, based out of St. Louis, I believe,
Yeah.
if I'm not mistaken,
Yes.
in St. Louis. And she did an amazing job. And her artwork kind of fits with the music of this album. And yeah, basically, like I said, we recorded this ourselves during the lockdown. And yeah, we're really happy
We
with
were
it.
having a hard time coming up with the name for the record, and his pop's actually just like, well, you know what? Why don't we just call the album Visions? You know, it's got enough of a, you know, you can get a couple cool concepts behind that name, and is, you know, instead of beating ourselves to death trying to figure out what to call it.
And we have a song on the
If
record
you call
called
it
Beyond.
Visions,
Yeah.
you could do whatever the hell you want with the album cover
Yeah.
at that point.
And we have a song on the album anyway called Beyond These Visions. So we're just like, let's just call it Visions. I mean, we got a song already on the album with that, so let's roll with that. And like they said, you could pretty much, with the word Visions, you could come up with whatever concept just about you want for an album cover.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how we did it.
Tell me more about other songs.
Yeah, right. Take a look.
Jeez.
Yeah, you have the record, so
We've got the first song on the record is Skyrider. That's something that George came to us with. The main riff. It's
Kind of a Thin Lizzy. I guess
Yeah,
you almost
it has
like
a
a
very-
mini Thin Lizzy.
yeah,
kind of
a lot of
kind
dual
riff.
guitar stuff going on in that. Harold Halls is a song that it's about being trapped in an insane asylum and hearing all the voices of the
The guy wanders into an abandoned insane asylum and gets trapped in it, essentially.
yeah, and then System 32 is about the
Some of the
mass
dangers of
hypnosis.
technology.
Yes, the mass hypnosis that technology and social media and all that stuff has kind of taken its toll on us.
Some of my favorite lyrics I've ever been part of was putting that one together.
Yeah, and System 32, and for anybody who knows, that's the I don't know, programming or hardware, software, it's not hardware, that runs a computer. You know, the whole joke is if you delete System 32, the computer
whole
doesn't
thing
work
wipes
anymore.
out,
So,
yeah.
you know, the whole System 32, it's kind of what runs our lives, social media and all that and whatnot. Shattered Mountains, the fourth song, is more of a down-tempo, drop D sort of grinder about ice giant being awakened and destroying the world.
A bit more of a fantasy theme kind of.
Highway of Nightmares is, you know, pretty self-explanatory. It's about a war-torn land of fury and steel. Phoenix Rise is, you know, just that. It's about the magical, mystical bird rising from the ashes. It's pretty much all it is. It's still a great song, though.
It's a bird song.
And then Beyond These Visions, go ahead. Go ahead and explain Beyond These Visions.
Beyond These Visions is about meditation. It's just kind of about all the weird sort of sounds and shit. That
Ins and outs of your
just
mind.
The things that are going on in the background that you're not paying attention to, but are just kind of like echoing.
If you go on our Bandcamp, we have all the lyrics for all the songs displayed. So if there's any question when you're listening, you can go ahead and go on there and read them for yourself. After that, Watchtower. It's about a watchtower.
There you go.
There you go.
Very fast-paced.
not a
song.
band watchtower.
Yeah, yeah, not the band Watchtower.
It's a watchtower over a graveyard, so.
Yeah.
This is our speed metal piece. This is our
A lot heavier and
fast-paced,
faster.
Very.
And then the
Get up
song
and
that
go.
caps it off is our cover of Dream Receiver that we're very, very proud of, you know, how we managed to put this together and make it sound good. You know, it's yeah, we surprised ourselves with that one.
How long did it take you to record this record?
About a year and some change, I would say.
Yeah, if we
Longer
were
than it should have, because there were just a shit ton of interruptions. You know,
Yeah.
one person would be exposed to COVID. It was like all this
Yeah.
up and down.
We had
yeah, and then,
technical
you know, family
difficulties, of
stuff, and then
course.
everyone's just kind of tired, and then we're just like, well, you know, we got this to do.
And
it's
then we
just
had
much
the
stuff.
That's the downside of recording yourself is you're not on someone's
Yeah.
clock where they're like, all right, you're paying for this. so
Do you guys want to go in
Get the fuck
today?
to it.
Nah, I'm tired.
Yeah.
Let's do it next week.
Yeah.
And then we had
I'm a little hungover.
the great Chuck Masick do all the mastering after it was done, and
Yeah.
just
Mix and master
he
it.
came up with this
fucking.
killer sounding record. So we're very happy with it.
But
This is a
if
pretty
we were
good
to
debut.
put all the days together, it probably took us like what, maybe in total with days,
If we had buckled down, we could have recorded it
like
as
2
far
3
as a
weeks,
recording session in probably like 2 or 3 weeks, but
Yeah.
it took like a year for us to
a
get
year
it.
and a half, just because of the time that we had
Right.
to take and.
So between people getting sick, people being exposed to the virus.
Yeah.
We've had technical difficulties that put us out.
Yeah, a lot of days we get in there and nothing
We're in
would
there
work.
like,
We
oh
just say, fuck it.
shit,
next week.
this crashed.
Yeah,
you know,
right.
now we gotta start all over again.
All the electronic
Yeah.
No,
Ghosts and
got
ghouls.
new shit after that recording because we
Same.
had something shorted out and fried out the whole shit.
Fortunately,
Yeah. His laptop
was
fried out like,
Yeah.
what was it, like 2 weeks after we finished recording?
Yeah, no, it's
Yeah, that was,
good timing.
yeah, great timing. It always seems to happen that way.
I think you need to write some songs about that experience.
Write a concept
The virus,
about our
the
experience.
technical
Concept about
difficulties.
making a recording.
Yes.
There
Every
you go.
time he would turn his amp on, you could hear it go.
You get the Spanish station through my.
Or sometimes
through my
when I'd be
shit
playing
sometimes.
bass, it would just sound like "Rrrr," like some electronic. I don't know. It was.
Well,
Yeah.
it wasn't a pro studio, but we got a professional product, so that's
We
I
did
guess the
what-
benefit
we
of
did what
having
we
the
did
time,
with
you
what
know?
we had.
I assume it's a self-release, right?
Yes, yes,
Okay.
it is a
Absolutely.
self-release.
How can people get hold of it?
They can find us on Bandcamp. They can find us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. To purchase the record, though, you'd have to go through Bandcamp. You can get the physical copy, a digital copy, and we also selling our merch on there.
And you could always contact one of us, like I said, Facebook, Instagram. If you want a hard copy, we've got plenty.
Yeah, just type in Chicago or Munition Band Chicago, and you'll find us eventually.
Are those all of your songs, or is there more?
Those are all the songs that we have in
Okay.
full right now. We've got a lot. We've got about a record's
And
worth that
tonight
we're working
doing
on right
the
now.
whole thing.
Okay.
Tonight.
Yeah, we're this year as we play and try and get this thing rolling. We're gonna continue writing the next record. Hopefully, start getting into the studio around the fall. I would assume that would be our goal. We haven't really discussed it yet, so that's just me kind of.
Fly off the seat of our pants.
Yeah,
Really
that's
just
kind
see
of
what
what
happens.
we do best. We do things at the
Spontaneity is kind of our thing.
Yeah, but it always seems to work out. So we'll
Yeah,
see
I
what
mean,
happens.
Even when we got these songs together, they had like a bunch of these, and they were like, just threw me a whole group of songs, and I was like, all right, well, just write
Yeah.
vocals for 8 songs in a week.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
can.
It works, you know.
Yeah.
What hopes do you have for this album?
For as many people to get their hands on it as possible. That's
Yeah.
pretty much it.
Listen to it.
Open to
Yeah,
reviews.
listen to it.
all
Hopefully
kinds
you'll
of
like
stuff.
it.
If you hate it, you hate it. If you love it, you love it. Either way, just
Listen to it. Yeah.
Yeah.
The more hands, the better.
How would you describe the scene that you're part of right now? The heavy metal scene.
I mean, it's there. I don't know. It's we really haven't really gotten much out into the scene. It's kind of, it's very split. It's a big young crowd of a lot of original bands, a lot of newer, heavier, younger bands, and then it's kind of split with like the older crowd and a lot of the cover bands. So we're kind of like, for the longest time, we're kind of somewhere in the middle and.
Kind of
You know.
weaving in and out of that.
Yeah.
You know.
I don't know. We're just, you
It
know, we find
exists,
our we
like you
find
said.
bands that we like and we befriend them. Like what happens with
Buddies,
Iron
Idle Throne.
Idle Throne. Yeah, we
Excellent band.
we
Excellent,
played with
excellent.
yeah, very very
Play
good
the
band.
hell
Yeah,
out
I
of
mean,
that
there's
record.
not like a whole lot of traditional metal bands that are like gigging in the city. I mean,
Mhm.
there's a couple I can think of offhand, but it's not like something that, like,
Yeah, it's not like
it'd be
too-
much easier finding like, you know, especially in our age range, like thrash bands and death metal bands. Than
Yeah.
it's hard to find,
Mhm.
you know, traditional heavy metal bands.
Yeah, Chicago's has a very big thrash and death and even black metal scene
Mm-hmm.
right now.
But
So
they are out there. There's some that are coming up.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's growing. Our kind of metal is kind of starting to grow. So I mean, it is out there, and I'm noticing more and more. Again, example Idle Throne and
Yeah.
bands like that that are coming up and doing what we're doing.
Finally, what's next?
What's next is we're gonna go upstairs, play a show, and eat some cake. But as far as the band,
drunk.
after this show, we really don't have any plans just yet. Kind of just gonna start working
Fly
on
out,
getting
see
some
our bands,
new
like you said.
songs up and running. So hopefully by the time we have another show booked, we can debut a couple more songs. Think about what we're gonna do as far as branching out to the other states. We're probably gonna do some weekend shows, Indiana, Iowa, Michigan, Wisconsin. And the last band we played out a few times in the East Coast, so we're gonna try and get that going again. Maybe start trying to branch out south and out west. You know, just getting ourselves out there as much as we can.
More than anything, I'm looking forward to the writing. That's always my favorite part of the process, and I'm very much looking forward to coming up with another batch and eventually recording another record.
So like I said, yeah, basically, just gonna kind of take it day by day and just see where it goes. But yeah, we're definitely wanting to do more shows out in the U.S. and in Canada. I'd like to get up there soon too. Got a couple
all over
good
the world.
connections up
That's
there. Ideally, yeah.
long-term
sometimes
goal is to
worldwide.
play everywhere all the time. But
Yeah, pretty much backing off of what they said. You know, just get it out to as many people as possible. Just so everybody can hear it.
Yeah, pretty much the same. Like, just keep rocking and rolling, right? Keep the
yeah.
train rolling.
just get this album out to as many people as we can.
Hopefully, it comes to a town near you very soon.
That'd be cool.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Enjoy the show.
All right.